Hello everybody, welcome back here at Gaming Boulevard on YouTube. Thanks again for tuning in at one of our videos. So this is a second and last video of the Paris Games Week. There weren't that many new titles and a lot of the games playable at the show are already reviewed on our website. So we looked for interesting games on the show floor and came across with Nioh. Nioh is a game that a lot of internet users might remember because of the main character. So the main character of Nioh really looks like Geralt of Rivia from the Witcher games. So aside of the extreme lookalike character, Nioh has nothing to do with The Witcher nor The Matrix. That's a Neo joke, main character of the Matrix. That being said, Nioh is a Dark Souls-esque game that is supposed to be even harder than Dark Souls. So if you're not into dying a lot in games, then Nioh won't be your thing. We've played it a couple of times during the Paris Games Week at the PlayStation Sony booth on a PS4, and we will give you our first impressions in this video, including a lot of off-screen footage directly captured from the demo unit we were playing on. So as you can see, Nioh is a rather dark game, just like Dark Souls, so it really took its inspiration in games like these. And you are this character that has swords and of course a bow for long distance attack. First thing I noticed is that the bow is rather powerful, so I could kill an enemy easily with the bow, that is, if they are not fast. So this spider enemy is a lot faster than the undead knights, so it's a lot harder to kill. Now that being said, the battles themselves felt hard, but I never got the feeling that Nioh is indeed harder than Dark Souls yet. That is perhaps because this is one of the first missions, I'm guessing. But we did get a glimpse on how deep Nioh really is, and that's what's gonna happen now. So you have these shrines in the game where you can save your progress, and then you have these insane skill trees. Only 3 were unlocked during the demo. Everything was in French, so I couldn't really understand what was on the screen. But it really there were tons of menus, tons of things to change. You have a spiritual guardian animal, you can also change that. I don't know really what it does, so I only saw it when I died, so it remained at the spot where I died, guarding my stuff until I reached that spot again and gathered it back. But I'm guessing the guardians do more than just that. But again, the skill tree was really impressive, really a lot of menus, so a lot deeper than Dark Souls on that point, if you ask me. uh, if you're into that kind of games, Nioh really is shaping up to be a rather good product. It's nothing innovating or new. I mean, we have seen games like these in the past, but Nioh does manage to put its own face, its own personality into the game. So also look at the graphics. The graphics, they are dark, but the lighting effects and the orbs, the energy that the enemies are dropping, really pops out of the screen. So it's kind of cool playing Nioh. It's also cool seeing other players play the game. It's a very hectic, fast, hard game, but the effects of the enemies and the attacks really is something worth mentioning, worth getting the game for. The things the enemies drop are often health boosts, so you can get some of your health back, or things to increase your damage, or new weapons, small upgrades, stuff like that. You can also see in the bottom left corner you have a small D-pad menu, and this served as our inventory for health bars and other stuff. Now what I've done now is perhaps the most interesting thing about Nioh. So you saw those red and black graves. Apparently, if you get to these and activate them, you will bring back a character that died back into the game, and he will challenge you to duel, to combat. Now, these characters are extremely strong, so I'm guessing these are human players. These are the ghost data of human players. But these are really strong, and you really can't anticipate on their moves since they are rather unpredictable. But they have great things to offer. So if you manage to defeat them, you will, for example, get a new weapon, or get a health boost, or a magic attack, or something like that. So these really proved that Nioh can be a very, very hard game. So it's not like Dark Souls where everything behind every corner can kill you. No, you can really stand a decent chance of survival against the regular enemies. But as you can see, these fallen warriors really are intense to fight. The death scene is rather cool. So it's black and white, and your spirit animals stay behind. Once you respawn at the last shrine. Your spirit animal will be in the game world, as you can see now, and you can get it back. So you can get back your belongings. So these red graves are the graves of the other players. The level of difficulty is next to them, as well as the rewards you can get. So, but that was not the point of the demo. So the demo featured the old house. We will visit that in a minute, and a boss battle, a giant spider boss battle, which we sadly couldn't defeat. So the bosses really are from another level. So Nioh is inspired by Dark Souls. The level of difficulty certainly is there, but it's a different game, not nevertheless. So also note that these graves are kind of everywhere. So you can see them, and you can activate them if you want. So I choose not to, because yeah, you don't have to. And yeah, I thought I would die anyway. So you see here the spider thingy that happened here. These are classic Dark Souls moments. You're just wandering around in the world, and an enemy straight attacks you in your face. So these moments are also represented in Nioh, which is of course great for the fans of Dark Souls, and great for the fans of these kind of games. So it's great that the developers added this in the game as well. So besides the spiders, we face the undeads, and as said before, these aren't hard to defeat, but I had, during the entire demo, I had a big problem locking onto the enemies. By pressing the right analog stick, I was supposed to lock onto my enemies, but it didn't always do that. So I lost the lock, and then I lost a lot of my lives. So that was kind of a big downside for me personally. The controls weren't on point just yet. Locking on the enemies really didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen. So that's something that perhaps maybe they should put it under another button, or make it better. But in a game like this, locking onto your enemy really is important. So I hope this does get fixed in the final version of the game. As for now, it was barely, sometimes even unplayable at some points, because I was constantly losing the focus of my enemy. Now, that being said, aside of that, Nioh really has the potential of becoming a sleeper hit, a game a lot of gamers might miss, but it really is a decent product. So yeah, the main character might not be that original, and the actual gameplay might not be that original, but it's done in a good way. So it really does offer a kind of Dark Souls vibe for those who are waiting for Dark Souls 4 to happen, or for new DLC of Dark Souls 3. If you can't get enough of these kind of games, Nioh might quench your thirst until Bandai Namco decides to bring back a fully normal Dark Souls game. And this Nioh was really great thanks to the boss battles. The designs are amazing. As you can see, this giant spider lady really is a great boss design. Defeating the bosses proved to be really a pain in the ass, actually. And we couldn't bring him down, so her down actually. So I'm guessing all of the bosses will be hard to defeat. Maybe this is even a mini boss, because of the environment really not being that big. But as said before, we don't know a lot about Nioh yet, but it's shaping up to be an interesting product nevertheless. So be sure to keep your eye on this one if you're a fan of Dark Souls.